What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another fly tying tutorial. Today I'm going to be tying a fly called a jumbo prince. I like to fish these in early spring for steelhead when they're starting to keen on some of the bigger stoneflies. This is a great pattern, and I tie a little bit different from just a regular prince nymph. So yeah, let's get started and I'll show you some of the differences. So the hook we have in the vise right now is a Mustad caddis curved. This is in a size 8. I like these caddis curved hooks so they have a little bit of bigger hook gap for steelhead, and I like that rather than just a regular nymph hook. The bead I have on there is a 5/32 black nickel bead, and I have about 10 wraps of 0.015 lead-free wire. The thread we're going to be using is UTC 70 denier in red. And we're going to start our thread right behind that lead, and you want to make sure that it's pushed up into the back of that bead so it's not going to go anywhere. You can come in and cut out your tag end, and all I'm going to do is kind of just put some thread wraps up here just so it's kind of secure and I know it's not going to go anywhere. Now we're going to take our thread down the shank of the hook a bit to about the hook point if it was sitting straight up. The first material we're tying in is the tail section, and for the tail section I'm going to be using brown goose biots. So I like to tie these in one at a time. You can tie them in at 2 at a time, but personally I've found that I can get it more precise when I tie in 1 at a time, so that's what I like to do, and it's all personal preference. So I'm just going to tie in this tail section here. And as far as the length of these go, I like to usually keep it about a size of the hook point part area. And as you can see, they kind of splay away from each other. And that's what you want when you're tying in these goose biots. You want them to splay away. So I'm just going to bring my thread up to the back of the lead with the butt ends. And all that's going to do is just going to fill in some of that dead space there from the lead. So now I'm going to come in, cut out these biots without cutting my thread. Now we're going to tie in our body part. And what that is going to be is a wire. This is in a size medium, and it's just a green. You can use a size small, but I like the thickness of the medium. It gives them more of like kind of a segmented look. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take out probably about an 8 to 10 inch piece here, just so I have enough to do the whole body. Now I'm going to tie that on the side of the hook facing towards me, and I'm going to tie that in right where the lead ends. Now this wire will give it a little bit more weight, not much, but the step up from the medium to small, I guess you could say, gives a little bit more weight. So all I'm doing right now is kind of making a tapered body here. Make it all smooth, because when you're laying this wire, you definitely want it to lay flat and smooth and right against each other. So once I get my tapered body there, I'm just going to come up and just put a couple whip finishes in, just so my thread's not going to go anywhere while I'm putting this body in. So I'm just going to start my body right at the end where my thread is, and I'm just going to make touching wraps, trying to get them touching as close as possible all the way up the body here. And the main reason why I use this wire rather than peacock herl is because durability. When I'm fishing for steelhead in the spring, I want these to last more than one fish. And with the peacock herl, I find that after one fish, they're pretty much blown up and I have to retie again. So this just makes it a little bit more durable, and it gives a little bit of shine too, I guess. I just like the way it looks with the wired body. But by all means, you can use peacock herl and just use a some sort of gold rib, like how you would just a regular prince. So once I come up to about a bead's length behind the back of the bead, I'm just going to tie off this wire, and all I'm going to do is just helicopter it out. And all helicopter is just turning it kind of like a helicopter wing, and eventually it just breaks off really close, and you can save your scissors or nips or whatever you use for it. So I'm just gonna put a couple thread rubs back onto this wire that I just turned out. Just keep that nice and splayed at the back. Now we're gonna come in with our dubbing, and this is ice dub. This is in a peacock color. We're just gonna build a little thorax here. Nothing too crazy. Let's get some nice little wraps there. Just like so. Now we are going to come in with our hackle part. And I like to pick out my hackle so that it is about the same length as the bottom of my hook point here. And all I'm using for this is just a brown color. So I'm just going to try to find a nice little feather here that I'm happy with. This one's pretty good. So all I'm going to do is strip back some of these fibers here so I can make a nice little tie-in point. So I'll just cut that part off, like so. So I have a nice little stem to tie in. And when you're tying these in, you definitely want these to be facing rearward. So I'm just going to tie that in, and I usually keep these pretty sparse. You can tie some ones that are really buggy, but I usually just do about 2 or 3 turns. I'm going to come in and tie that hackle off. So as you can see that the hackle is pointing back, you don't want it facing front. So I'm just going to come with my scissors and just cut out the rest of this hackle part. Now I'm just going to grab my fingers and kind of pull it back and just get some more wraps on top there. It's like so. Now when you're tying in the wing section, you can cut out the top of these, or you can just tie them in and have them. Personally, I like to just kind of clean it up a bit. So all I'm going to do is just snip a little section off the top and kind of just snip down on these little ice dub fibers too, because I want these biots for the wings to lay relatively flat. I don't want them sticking straight up in the air. So I just kind of made a little flat ramp there. So the wing section is going to be white goose biots, and we're just going to tie these in one at a time just so I can get my desired angle. So with these, I like to make them about as long as the body part. So I usually end them right at the end of the body. And the way you're going to tie these in is you're just going to pretty much make a little X on top, just like so. You can see there. This one can come in a little bit. You want to make sure you don't trap any of those hackle fibers. See, as you can see, they're kind of already sticking up some, and if I didn't trim down that dubbing and the hackle part, they would have been sticking up like crazy. So I like to keep them about this, not too aggressive. So I'm just going to come in with my scissors now and just cut out the end parts of the goose biots. I'm just going to pull everything back and kind of just clean this head section up, just like so. Now you come with your whip finish tool. Just put a 4 or 5 turn whip finish there. Seat that down nice. You can cut out your thread. I just like to kind of push down on these just so they're not sticking up too high. Now what I like to do is grab some Loon Outdoors UV clear fly finish. This isn't a thin, and all I'm going to do is put a little dab right on top of these thread wraps, just like so. And they kind of go up the wing a little bit too, but that's okay. So a little bit more durability, if anything. So I'm just kind of just moving around so it's kind of into the threads. And what I'm going to do is just kind of push down on these wings while I hit it with the light, and hopefully they'll lay down a little bit more. You could go a little bit sparser with the thorax, but it just looks weird, I think, once you do that. So I think that's looking pretty good. That's what it looks like when it's all done. Nice little jumbo prints. I love throwing these rather than stoneflies for steelhead. I don't know what it is around here. I live in southern Ontario, and they just key in these so much more than stoneflies. But I hope you like today's video, guys. If you do, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, and we'll see you in the next one.